The Grand Egyptian Museum was built with a cost that measured in billions, and with decades of planning behind it, the gem is not simply a museum. It's a statement, an architectural assertion that Egypt is fully capable of preserving, interpreting, and presenting an ancient heritage at the highest modern standard. That is why reports of rainwater appearing inside the museum drew such intense attention. Egyptian authorities responded quickly. Officials stated that no artifacts were damaged, that no monuments were exposed to harmful conditions, and that the rainwater visible in videos was the result of intentional architectural features and not structural failure. According to official explanations, the building's design allows for controlled interaction with the environment, including natural light and ventilation. The situation, they said, was fully managed. Taken at face value, those assertions would seem sufficient. However, this was not the first time rain entered the Grand Egyptian Museum. Back in 2023, similar reports emerged after heavy rainfall. The official response then was nearly identical to the response we're hearing now in December of 2025. Authorities emphasized that drainage systems functioned properly and that collections were not affected. Now, this repetition does matter, not because it proves negligence, but because it reframes a really important issue. The question is no longer whether the building can withstand rain. Obviously, it can. The question is whether internal water movement is an accepted feature of the museum's design philosophy. That distinction matters when the institution in question houses some of the most irreplaceable objects on Earth. The gem is not a sealed vault. Its design prioritizes openness, scale, and symbolic transparency. There are vast spaces at the museum, dramatic roof lines, light permeable structures. The goal is a powerful visual experience. However, museums are not judged by appearance alone. Most importantly, they are judged by preservation performance. Even limited moisture raises reasonable concerns. Concerns not necessarily of immediate damage, but of long-term risk. Risk such as changes in humidity, microcondensation, environmental fluctuation. These forces accumulate over time. Colossal stone statues may endure brief exposure without visible harm, but many other materials cannot. Materials like wood, papyri, pigments, textiles, organic compounds, these materials are far more sensitive. Therefore, public concern is not irrational. The concerns reflect a basic understanding of conservation science. These questions arise at a moment when Egypt continues to press for the return of major artifacts that are held abroad, most notably the Rosetta Stone, currently in the British Museum, which I addressed in the previous video. Egypt's arguments for the return of such artifacts rest on their claim of rightful ownership and cultural legitimacy. That's a compelling argument. However, claims of ownership are often countered, fairly or not, by claims about poor stewardship. Foreign institutions routinely argue that they provide superior preservation, environmental control, and transparency. This has long been one of the central defenses used to resist returning such artifacts. In that context, moments like rainwater appearing inside the gem take on huge significance. They become talking points for those already inclined to deny restitution. This does not mean that Egypt's claims are illegitimate. However, perception does matter. Transparency matters. The deeper issue is not whether damage occurred. At present, there is no confirmed evidence that any damage did occur. The issue is public confidence. How confidently the public and the international community can assess such claims. The gem is a symbol of modern Egypt's custodianship of antiquity. However, stewardship is strengthened by openness, not undermined by it. Independent assessments, clear documentation, consistent public reporting, these behaviors would reinforce Egypt's position far more than a simple reassurance alone ever could. So the question is not, did rain enter the Grand Egyptian Museum in both 2023 and 2025? We know that it did. The real question is this: can Egypt, while demanding the return of artifacts like the Rosetta Stone, afford even the perception of obscurity at its flagship museum? That question is not an accusation. It is a test of confidence, and how it is answered will shape not only public trust in the museum, but the credibility of Egypt's broader claim to stewardship of its supposed Kemetic heritage, both at home and abroad. This is the Black and Gold channel. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.